In this Star Wars Jedi Survivor news updates video, I will be sharing with you some big and surprising news. EA and Respawn have announced they are bringing the game to the last gen consoles. Yes, seriously. I've got all of the details in this video, including a tease for the third game, so make sure you do watch until the end of the video. Before we do get into today's news though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on this game. So late last night, EA had their earnings call to investors where they revealed a bunch of information about Jedi Survivor. During the last 3 months, the company made $1.6 billion in net bookings, and that was driven by the success of Jedi Survivor. It had millions of copies sold, but they have not revealed the exact number other than it's tracking higher than what Jedi Fallen Order did, which was already many millions of copies in the same time frame. They went on to say that they are seeing the players of Jedi Survivor spending more time inside of Jedi Survivor over Jedi Fallen Order. We can actually see this data for ourselves to an extent, because Jedi Survivor's achievement completion rate is extremely high for a single player game. Around half of the players on PS5, Xbox and PC have completed the game, which does not happen often, especially for games of this length. Following the statements about how successful Jedi Survivor has been, EA said, "Thanks to the strength of this legendary franchise and community demand, our development team has committed to bringing this Jedi experience to the PS4 and Xbox One." And we have so many questions, don't we? How is this going to go? What is it going to look like? What's the actual experience going to be? Because it still isn't perfect on high-end PCs, and now you're downgrading the game to be running on almost decade-old consoles that were already underpowered when they came out in 2013. Even Jedi Fallen Order struggled on the last-gen systems, so this is going to be extremely interesting. Before we do get into even more news, I do want to discuss this whole situation because I reported the news on Twitter last night and I had so many people tweet me saying, "Why is this a thing? Who wants this?" Well, they said it. It's because there is a demand for it. Not everyone upgraded to a PS5 or Xbox Series X and S, even though the PS5 has sold over 40 million units, the Xbox Series consoles have sold over 20 million. Both of these consoles are tracking higher than their predecessors, so supply is not an issue anymore. Actual people upgrading is definitely not an issue. I guess they're double dipping on Jedi Survivor. They believe there are still plenty of people that haven't upgraded. They have the data. They can see, look, we have these people that have an account with us on PS5 or on PlayStation or Xbox, and they haven't upgraded to a new console yet. They loved Fallen Order. Fallen Order may have been their only EA game, but they haven't upgraded to the new consoles yet. They've probably got a lot of data that's backing that up, and they're like, okay, what if we just downgrade the game massively and are able to put it on last-gen systems? Even though it is a next-gen game and makes use of next-gen technology, the SSD, the better CPU, to make things like Kobo work, and the traversal and travelling from planet to planet, things like that, they seem to think it is possible on last-gen, with, I'd imagine, some significant cutbacks. It is also worth noting that Respawn aren't just going to be making 2 more versions of Jedi Survivor. It will be 4 if you count the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X versions. So that will bring the total versions of the game with the current 3 to 7, which is crazy. I've seen plenty of people say this is a complete waste of resources for what should be a potential sequel coming out for this game, and I understand that argument, but the people downgrading this game probably aren't going to be the people that have anything to do on the sequel yet because it's still in a concept stage, and they will also outsource some of its development to other studios that are looking for work, need some cash, and can work on downgrades. We've seen that with Switch versions of games. To me, this is very interesting because I'm interested to see what cutbacks they make to get this out to more people. I am very happy more people are going to be able to experience this game, but at the same time, just experience it on a new console or a PC because it's just going to be way better than whatever you're going to get on a decade-old PS4 and Xbox One. It's just not going to be the same, I don't think. But that's just me speculating. We'll just have to wait and see what cutbacks they make when they do share more information. Another thought I had is, could this open the door for a Switch 2 release of Jedi Survivor? Because the Switch 2 is set to be around as powerful as a PS4 and release next year, towards the end of the year. If they can get it out on PS4 and Xbox One, then perhaps a Switch 2 release isn't out of the question. EA hasn't really supported the Switch, and they've definitely missed out on a lot of games sold. I could totally see a double pack of Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor on the next Switch, if they are able to get it over to the handheld. I mean, the Steam Deck runs it fine, Fallen Order specifically, so if they make specific optimizations for the next Switch, I could totally see an 8th version of the game coming out. I know many people will be asking, well, when is this coming out? Where's the release date? Well, EA did not give any exact time frame whatsoever. They didn't say this year, they didn't say next year. They were actually specifically asked by an investor, is this coming out this year or is it further out? And EA completely dodged the question, so they have no idea when it will be coming out. Who knows if it's going to be this year? If it's not out this year, then by the time it comes out next year, way more people will have a PS5 and Xbox Series console, so it makes even less sense. Now let's talk about some more interesting things regarding Jedi Survivor. So EA said, over the coming year, we will harness the community's passion and capitalise on key Star Wars franchise moments to drive continued engagement for this incredible game, meaning Jedi Survivor. So what does that mean? Because this is just going to be me speculating here, but does this mean DLC, as well as the last gen release coming out this year? Because Ahsoka is out later this month. It's going to be the biggest Star Wars event left this year. So that's pretty soon for any substantial DLC, I would say. We also have Star Wars Skeleton Crew set to release later this year as well, right at the end of the year, most likely. So it's going to be interesting to see what this means. If it means the calendar year of 2023, I do wonder what they're going to be able to put out in terms of DLC for this game. Hopefully they do give us the battle grid as an update, and then some story DLC. If it means financial year, well, that runs into next spring for EA. The Acolyte will release in spring. That's the plan anyway at this moment in time. And given the High Republic's connection in Jedi Survivor and the Acolyte set in the High Republic, there could be some connection there for the two games for some additional content, but again, that's just me purely speculating. I really hope they do give us more DLC and continue to update the game. We already know that EA and Respawn are planning at least another update to fix some issues with the game, but we haven't had any details in over 2 weeks now on when that will be coming. They just said soon. Stay subscribed for any updates because I will make a video as soon as it does release. Now let's talk about the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the third game in this expected trilogy. So this is what EA had to say. Our teams are always thinking about what new experiences we might create. Certainly, I would love to see more in the Jedi franchise over time. That's EA CEO Andrew Wilson speaking. It's an extraordinary game and story. Certainly, we might be a little biased, but our sense based on player feedback from the community and the quality of the product makes it seem like it's going to be a great big beat in the Star Wars galaxy this year, and it will likely continue to be a very meaningful part of that galaxy for many years to come. Certainly, as we bring it to the PS4 and Xbox One, we think there will be another bump there for the franchise. Nothing to announce today other than that we have an incredible relationship with Disney and Lucasfilm. So yeah, they're talking about how Jedi Survivor on last gen will give them a bump in money, obviously, and I don't think it's going to be as big of a release compared to the actual full release that we got in April, but I am more happy that people are going to experience it. But I just hope that experience is playable and not 10 FPS. It is entirely possible, though, that this version of the game never sees the light of day, never gets released, because they realise that the task is far too hard. This is just their intention. We've seen games just completely cut out the previous gen versions of the game, but also games like Hogwarts Legacy release to great success. So yeah, I think EA have probably seen the success of Hogwarts Legacy on the PS4 and Xbox One, because that has really helped, especially in Europe, grow and do big numbers this year in the last couple of months. So yeah, I think EA probably saw that and realised we could probably downgrade this game even more. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Are you going to be one of those people that purchase the game on the PS4 or Xbox One? I'm certainly going to check it out and compare it for you guys, because this is unprecedented. We've not seen this from an EA Star Wars game before, going back and releasing a last-gen version. It's not like we had Battlefront going back and releasing a last-gen version, so yeah, this will be very interesting indeed. That is not all for Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order news though, because there is a whole host of new merchandise coming out for these games. So earlier this week, Disney announced the Jedi Survivor Cal Kestis colour-changing lightsaber. It's available from shopdisney.com for $250, and it's basically the repaired hilt as seen in the game. The one that we saw in the collector's edition, but this time it can change colour. So there's a button on the back that allows you to change the colour from blue to red to green to purple to yellow to white. So 6 total colour options. It does include lights and sounds as you'd expect, as well as this new box, which is a cool collector's box that you can keep it in, or a display stand if you want to have it out on display, and it even comes with a lightsaber belt clip as well. What's unique about this lightsaber is that, unlike all of the other lightsabers from Disney, this actually can change colour. The only other one is the Ahsoka lightsabers, which change from blue to green, but this includes 6 different colour options. So if you do want to add this lightsaber to your collection and you missed out the collector's edition on the game, then this is a great opportunity for you. The next bit of merchandise is Star Wars Jedi holiday-themed figures. So we have this Nutcracker Purge Trooper, which we'll be releasing on fan channels, and the K-Series Security Droid and BD Unit. Yeah, seriously, these are holiday-themed special characters that you can purchase from Walmart or fan channels later this fall. That was a reveal at Comic-Con, and I was surprised. I was in the room as it happened, and I was glad I got the word out there. It was so cool to see these Hasbro reveals happen in real time. And on top of that, they announced a pipeline reveal, so no actual pictures, but they did say that they would be releasing a 3-pack Jedi Fallen Order Black Series set featuring Inquisitor Cal, which has not been done before, as well as the Second Sister and the Purge Trooper. So the Second Sister and Purge Trooper retired back when Fallen Order came out. They were out before the game came out. Then they've sort of gone up in price because people do want them, but they are releasing them again in a 3-pack with Inquisitor Cal, and that's going to be exclusive to Amazon. No release date has been given, but I'd assume it's going to be next year, so probably in about 12 months. The Starkiller figure that was announced last May is coming out soon, so probably 12 months. Hopefully less though, because we really want more Jedi Survivor figures than Fallen Order. Make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss any future updates on Jedi Survivor, as well as its sequel and potential DLC. And if you did miss any of my previous videos, do click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.